Hello YouTube, it's Grace again, and today I'm going to be talking about the Ruby Red Trilogy. So the Ruby Red Trilogy is a set of books which I've recently finished within the past few days. So I thought I'd give an overall discussion for all three books. So the Ruby Red Trilogy is comprised of the three books which are called Ruby Red, Sapphire Blue and Emerald Green. And I overall highly enjoyed this trilogy, and I gave it a 4.5 stars overall. So my individual ratings for Ruby Red were 4 stars. For Sapphire Blue I gave it a 5 stars, and for Emerald Green I'm giving it a 4.5 stars. The reason why I'm giving Emerald Green lower than Sapphire Blue is because I got a bit confused when I was reading this the first time, and then I reread it and then it made sense again. So I think you have to read it really carefully, but that little reread made me lower it half a star. But I really did enjoy this one. So I think I should give you a brief synopsis about Ruby Red. So Ruby Red is the first book, and it follows a girl named Gwyneth in the English translation, or Gwendolyn in the German translation. So yeah, Gwen Shepherd is the last of 12 time travellers. 6 of them descend from the male line called the de Villiers, and then 6 of them are the maternal line, and that is where she descends from. She descends from the maternal line, which is at that point called the Montrose family. So for all her life, Gwen has never thought that she was the time traveller in her family. It was always thought that her cousin Charlotte was the time traveller. But then in this book, she finds out that instead of her cousin being the time traveller, she's the time traveller. So she has to adapt to the situation, learning how to fence, how to dance, court manners and everything, in order to blend in when she time travels into the past. And it basically follows her adventures finding out that she is a time traveller, and what her role is in a secret prophecy which is held by the Guardians, the ones who look after all the knowledge relating to the time travellers. So it's about her exploring that. So yeah, that is my synopsis. So I'm going to go into my analysis now. So for the characters, the primary character is obviously Gwen Shepherd. I really enjoyed her as a character, and I like how she develops and that she's always questioning the order. Like, she doesn't just take it hands down, she tries to question things, she tries to explore things for her own sake. And then the love interest throughout all books, thankfully, is Gideon de Villiers, and I really enjoyed being introduced to Gideon, and he's one of my new book boyfriends, so yeah, I really love Gideon. And yeah, I think that his relationship with Gwen was really complimentary. Like, they complemented each other. Like, he was a protector for Gwen, although that she could protect herself at the same time, but he was very protective of her, and in return she made him question things. Like, he was always brought up never to question the order knows best. But when she comes into his life, he begins to question things, which I think is really interesting how they complement each other. Another of my favourite characters was Mr. George, who is kind of like a grandfather to Gwen at times. Like, he really looks into her interests and tries to help her as much as possible, even though that he is a member of the Guardians and is trying to restrict her. And similarly to that, I also like her grandfather Lucas Montrose, who I just think is so sweet, and that no matter what time period she goes in to visit him, he's always willing to help her, which I think is really nice, and how he has an open mind to everything about the time travelling and how he can help her. So yeah, but I think my ultimate favourite character was probably the gargoyle Eximerius. Okay, my pronunciation pronunciation is probably really bad there. But yeah, there's a funny little gargoyle who's introduced in Sapphire Blue, and he is hysterical. Oh my god, he just brings so much comedy to the books, and I highly enjoyed it. So yeah. Next thing is plot. Now, throughout all of these, I think they had a well-weaved plot throughout it all, and I really enjoyed it. Although I felt a bit at the end of Emerald Green that some of the things introduced at the end weren't really explained enough, and therefore I feel that they were included just for the sake of wrapping it up, rather than included as a means of weaving the plot together. Like, they weren't explained about how any of it happened, and instead it was just like, So yeah, that's another reason why I lowered it a half star. But I did enjoy this. I just felt that the end of it was added as a bit of a convenience rather than a necessity to the plot. Writing style. I really enjoyed the writing style overall. I liked how the book was going and the pace. The pace was really good, like it just kept consistently going at a great pace, and that you were never left long without a bit of action. So I really enjoyed it, how I sped through the books overall, because I read the books within 5 days I think. So yeah. My favourite book out of them all, which I think I've already mentioned, was Sapphire Blue, the second book, which is surprising because usually I don't really enjoy the second book as much as the first or the last book. But yeah, I really enjoyed the second book, and I felt that it was action driven, it was plot driven, it wasn't just there as a means of being, oh, it needs to be a filler book for the middle of the story. It didn't feel like that at all, and I really enjoyed it because of that. So yeah, those are my reviews about the books. There's also film adaptations I should probably mention, although the films are all in German, just to say. And the first book, Rubenrot, which is how it's spelled, I'll link it in the description anyway. That book, that film, sorry. Yeah, that film does have an English dub, and it does have an English sub. Sapphire Blue and Emerald Green, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce the German name for Emerald Green because that was really difficult. They don't have any dubs or subs, unfortunately. So, commenting just on Ruby Read the Film, I really enjoyed the film, and it actually took a slightly different direction of from the book itself. And from what I've seen of Sapphire Blue in clips that were translated to English through subtitles, I really enjoyed the look of that as well. It's much more action filled, and I think they're diverting it a bit from the books. It still remains close to the books, but it's diverted in a way to give more action and more adventure. I think it helps speed it along even more in the films. So yeah. So my overall impression of the whole trilogy is that I really enjoyed them. I would reread them again because they were a lot of fun, and I would highly recommend it to anybody who enjoys a bit of fantasy, a bit of time travel, and a bit of a romance, I have to say. Because the romance doesn't actually play a really large part until Emerald Green and a bit of Sapphire Blue, but before that it's not as much. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I should probably say that my favourite cover out of them is probably again Sapphire Blue, because I like how she's not looking towards us, and then how she's just looking down. I really like the dress in this as well, and the background. The background I think is really cool, like old Big Ben. Oh yeah, I should probably have said this is set in London. But yeah, another reason why I enjoyed it, because it helped me be able to visualise the descriptions because I do live like in suburban London. So yeah. So yeah, highly recommend the series, and I guess this is the end of my discussion or review or whatever you wish to call it. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I guess I will see you later. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, goodbye.